Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today we're going to be looking at a Victorinox knife, and this is the EvoGrip S18. I've been looking for a little while for the right combination of Victorinox knife, something that is really pocket friendly, and for that I wanted it to be a maximum of 4 layers, and preferably probably in 3 layer, but gave me a good amount of functionality. I thought I hit the number, I thought I found what I needed with this EvoGrip S18. I really only have one complaint about it, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. On the whole, I like the knife a lot, but this is actually my first experience with a Delmont Collection knife from Victorinox, that still takes their styling cues from the Wenger series. So when Wenger was bought out by Victorinox, they continued in Delmont to continue making some of the styles of tools that Wenger used to use in their knives. With all that being said, they're really good knives too. This is not a bad knife by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually really, really good. Again, I only have one complaint about it, and I'm going to point that out to you a little bit later. So let's get into the specs of this guy first. This is a really excellent weight knife at 3.24 ounces, or about 91 grams. Really lightweight, really fits in the pocket well. The overall dimension, this is an 84 millimeter knife, so in SAE that translates to 3 5/16. It's 1 inch wide, or about 25 millimeters, and the depth on it is pretty slender. It could be a little bit smaller, but it's very comfortable at 13/16 of an inch, or about 20.5 millimeters. So very good sized knife in my opinion. Let's go around the tool set that the EvoGrip S18 has to offer, and we will talk about the one and only complaint that I have about this knife. Let's get started. So I've brought in the Victorinox Super Tinker because I want to compare a couple of the implements that are on the S18 to the Super Tinker, to give you to show the difference between the Delmont Collection and the standard Victorinox knife. I'm going to set this to the side for just a moment as we start going through these tools, and the ones I want to compare her to, I'll bring that the Victorinox back in. So the reason that I went with the S18 is because this is one of the Evolution series that has a Phillips screwdriver as opposed to a corkscrew, and being from America, I don't really use a corkscrew that much, and I would prefer to have the Phillips screwdriver. Now the Phillips driver on here is really very good. It does not lock in place, and you have to use it in this T-handled configuration, so it's a little bit cumbersome from that perspective. I actually prefer screwdrivers that are out on the ends of knives, because then you're able to, it just works a little better for me. But because of their spring style, a lot of Victorinox knives are built just this way. The other tool on the back side here is the awl. Now the awl on this style knife is very, very good. It has a very nice cut edge, and they give you a good grind on the relief back here. These work exceptionally well as reamers. I have no problem with this one. In fact, I prefer this one in that T-handle configuration, because when you're doing reaming holes like that, being able to use this, being able to have it in this orientation allows you to get more torque on it, and I think that just works better. Now, unlike what you get in the Super Tinker, though, they have that hook on the back, where in this one they do not. One thing I do like about Victorinox knives is the fact that in the scales they always house a couple of extra tools. Sometimes you can get up to, I think, 4 different tools. This one only has 2. The standard tweezers, which the tweezers on here are very good, and on the other side it has a toothpick. Now I like the fact that the toothpick is integrated into the scale handle like that, because it makes the ability to sanitize it very easily, to be able to use it very easily. You don't have to. I've seen like a SOG where they integrate a toothpick into a fold-out deal, where I just don't like that at all, and it's very hard to replace. Where this one, you can order several replacements for this one. Well, if I can get my nail dug in there, and replace that toothpick as necessary. I like that feature, and I really like, and I really like the Evolution series grips on here. The styling. Now they have the Evolution series that doesn't have the grip, but the S18 does have the grip pattern on here, and it's really very comfortable. Now, when we get around to the knife blade, we're going to start with the main blade on this side, and this is where you're going to see from the old Vinger style knife blade how they differ from the Victorinox knife blade. And you can see the shape of the blade is just a little bit different. I really have no problem with this blade at all. Very sharp, not quite as long as you get with these longer series of Victorinox, because this is 84 millimeter, and I believe this is 90 or 91. I don't remember for sure. So you get a little bit longer blade with the Super Tinker, but the blade itself, I have no problem with it, and I like this blade shape as well. Now, one of the things that I really like, and one of the things that drew me to the Evolution series, was the fact that instead of the little pin blade that you get with Victorinox on the opposite side, you get a fingernail file and cuticle cleaner, or fingernail cleaner here. I like that feature a lot because of the environments that I work in and the types of things that I do. I find myself needing the ability to have a fingernail cleaner on me a lot. I just hate having my nails full of grime and stuff, but because of the environments I work in, my hands are constantly getting dirty. I love the fact that it has that on there. One of the reasons that I like the Delmont Collection of the Evolution series a little bit better than the regular Victorinox. Now, next tool is the scissors, and this is where we come into my only complaint about the S18. So you'll notice that the Victorinox style, the Super Tinker uses their little spring there, and if you've ever used Victorinox scissors, you'll know that they are just outstanding scissors. Now, the S18 uses a torsion bar. I personally prefer torsion bar on these multi-tool scissors as opposed to the little spring there. I'm going to pull in my Leatherman Surge here real quick to kind of show you this. The Surge uses a torsion bar as well, as do a lot of the Leatherman products. In fact, all of them that I know of. The difference in the slip joint that you get in the S18 and a Leatherman style is the back bar is actually held in place. It's locked in place with the liner lock here, so that when you're using the scissors, this bar doesn't move. It stays stationary, and the only moving part is the torsion bar itself as you're using the scissors. Now, with the S18, because it's in a slip joint and that bar is not locked in place, you'll get movement. So this bar will actually move up as we operate the scissors. You can see how it floats up. So it doesn't offer quite as much control as what you get with the Victorinox style scissors, where the Victorinox style, this portion stays locked in and you have the little spring mechanism that will spring back your scissors. Now, from a functionality standpoint, they're both pretty good. I got a little piece of backing from a notepad here, and we're just going to run that Victorinox on there real quick, and you can see that it goes right through there. Now, another difference in this style of scissors is that this has micro serrations on the scissor cutting edge itself, and so I'm going to try to be quiet here for just a moment so that you can hear the difference in those scissors. Maybe not as pronounced as what you get on paper, but you can see that they work just fine cutting through that cardboard. Now, if we go to the paper, let's see if we can hear the difference between these two. That is the Delmont Collection, and this is the standard Victorinox. So definitely you can hear that the serrations, as you're using the scissors. From a functionality standpoint, it doesn't really bother me when it comes to both the cutting on cardboard paper. But where you're going to find the difference is when we're going to bring in some paracord here. And Victorinox scissors are really, really well known for their ability to cut through stuff like this. So just a little bit of pressure, it pops right through it, and I'm not putting any tension on the paracord itself. Where the S18 struggles quite a bit doing this. You can see that those jaws just want to fold over. I've tried it multiple ways. I tried it cutting on the end, tried it cutting in the center, tried it cutting right against the fulcrum, and it's always the same result. Now, if we put a little bit of tension on there and we'll cut real slowly, we can get a decent enough cut. But if we do the same thing with a Victorinox style, it zips right through there with zero effort. So my only complaint with this S18 was the fact that the scissors do not perform as well as I had anticipated, being as it is sold by Victorinox or made by Victorinox. Because they're using the older Wenger style, I think this knife itself would have been a lot better had they implemented their style scissors in here instead of the Wenger style scissors. Now the next tool is a saw. The saw blades on Victorinox knives are just outstanding, and this one is no different. It is a very, very good and capable saw. The next tool is a combination tool. This is going to be a can opener and a micro driver here. So I'm going to try to pull this one out, and you can see that the styling on here, they're pretty much the same. So I guess this is the Victorinox style of can opener. I think Wenger used to use a little bit different style, and I'm not as proficient on Victorinox and Wenger history as other people are. So if you are aware of the styling differences between those, I would appreciate it if you would just drop me a comment down below and let me know, because again, I'm not as versed on Victorinox as other people. Now the last tool is where we have a one of the features on this Wenger this Delmont that I really like. This is the combination screwdriver and bottle opener, and I think they call this, I have to double check, I think that is the wire stripper or wire bender in that little notch there. I'm not really sure how to use that tool or how useful that particular tool even is. What I do like about this screwdriver though, the one feature that it has is that when you're using it and you have pressure, you see how that screwdriver will recess back in there. That locks it in place and does not allow it to fold over. Now, you do not get that with the Victorinox style, so I can put pressure on it, but I can still double it over. That is one feature that I really, really like about this S18 for that screwdriver functionality. Now, the one difference, the one leg up that Victorinox style has is it will lock in to a 90-degree position for higher torque, where the Wenger style does not. It does not have a 90-degree stop. Both of them can be beneficial in different ways. I just prefer, I really like the fact that it has that that built-in safety mechanism, if you will, for that screwdriver, so you're not running the risk of it doubling over on you. Now, on the whole, the S18, the EvoGrip S18, is an outstanding knife in my opinion. I really like its size, I like its weight, I like its capability. My one and only gripe about this particular knife is the fact that the scissors do not work as cleanly as a standard Victorinox knife will. I still rate this as it's going to be about an A- for me. If it had a little better scissors, then it would definitely be a solid A and may even climb into an A+ knife. Personally, I like the width, or excuse me, the length on this, but the fact of the matter is that the Super Tinker really fits my hand a little better. As far as pocketability though, the S18 is just a little bit more pocket friendly than the Super Tinker style of knife is. If this were a little bit longer, it would personally fit my hand a little bit better, but I really don't have a complaint on the size. I think it's a great pocket carry knife and works really, really, really well. Again, if the scissors were just a touch better, then it would definitely be an A+. Well, my name is Ben, and this has been my review of the EvoGrip S18 from Victorinox. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you do, please hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next one.